With the increase in gaming conventions and fan events, as well as the wide accessibility of digital recording and live streaming technology, we've seen an increase in a really fun phenomenon that happens at these conventions whenever something new is announced. The fan reaction! Whilst watching a live stream is great, when you're actually at an event with a group of people, be they friends or strangers, there is something extra special about being in a group to share that announcement for the first time. Everyone in that group experiences the same reaction, be it positive or negative. There's just something universally enjoyable about being in a crowd full of people all sharing in that experience for the very first time. And with most people in the world right now doing anything they can to avoid crowds of people, I thought it would be fun to take a look back at some of the best and the biggest Sonic fan reactions that there have ever been. Because I think, right now, we need to be reminded of times which were fun. So let's take a look at the top 6 best Sonic fan reactions to, well, anything at all really. And why 6? Well, originally I was only going to do 5, and then I found another really good one, so we've got 6. Let's go! Number 6. Ken Below rolls that beautiful Sonic footage. Between 2010 and 2012, Sega had a big problem with keeping secrets. At one point, almost every big project and game was being leaked. Sometimes this was due to their own mistakes, such as Sega Spain just randomly deciding to announce Sonic Generations weeks before the intended date, and other times it was down to third-party mistakes, such as Partner.net accidentally leaking the entire early build of Sonic 4 Episode 1. And one such leak happened on June 19, 2012, when a listing appeared on the Xbox Live Marketplace for Sonic Adventure 2, which curiously had button prompts for a PlayStation 3 controller. Microsoft had successfully not only leaked a port of Sonic Adventure 2 for the Xbox Live Arcade, but also the PlayStation 3 at exactly the same time. Less than a month later, on July 13th, Sega had actually planned to reveal the game to fans at their 2012 Sonic Boom convention, but with one of their biggest surprises spoiled, would the reaction to the announcement be somewhat muted? Well, on the day of the event, 1,000 Sonic fans packed into the House of Blues and surrounded the stage. Ken Below, who was the digital manager for Sega at the time, took to the stage and, in his own words, rolled that beautiful Sonic footage. And the crowd went nuts.
Sonic Rider! So without any further ado, let's roll that beautiful Sonic footage.
Now granted, this footage was recorded on a very low-end camera, so the mic isn't that great. It actually gives the impression that the crowd is louder than it really is, but I love this moment for several reasons. The fact that Sega made fun of themselves in the announcement trailer, the fact that there's a moment where fans genuinely think that Sega are about to announce a brand new unknown game, and then we get hit with the reveal. It's a great moment in Sonic and Sega history.
Let's roll that beautiful Sonic footage.
Number 5. Jun Sanu gate crashes the Buzz Bombers. So I'm a little bit biased with this one. At the 2010 Summer of Sonic fan convention, Crush 40 were confirmed as being the headline act. Johnny and Jun had been fan favourites for years, and some fans had travelled from outside the United Kingdom just to come to the event, just to see them perform. And as a result, the crowd at that year's convention were one of the wildest, especially when compared to the previous 2 events, and I got to experience this from a very unique perspective. I was staff at that year's event, and I ended up being the host of the Buzz Bombers quiz. Yeah, that's actually me on stage in the Sonic the Skelling Hog t-shirt. And as a tradition with that quiz, a special guest was on each team. For this year's event, the guests were Aaron Webber and Johnny Gioeli. One of the rounds involves quizzing the special guests on a specialist subject, and when it was the turn of Johnny, we decided to entitle his round, Jun Sanu is my best friend. So all the questions were about Jun Sanu and his relationship working with Johnny. It should have been quite an easy round for Johnny to get right. It wasn't. He only got 2 questions right. So just before the round started, I'd actually said Jun's name quite a few times, and then right as I'm about to ask the first question, all of a sudden, the crowd begins to scream and yell, and some of them are pointing. I'm on the stage at this point wondering, what the hell's happened? I look behind me, and what do I see? There's Jun leaning over the balcony, waving at the fans, who went nuts.
So you have to answer 5 questions about the works of Jun. And your time. Hey, Jun, I'm sorry. Everyone knows this, but I'll try.
It seems that Jun reacted to me saying his names a few times on the stage as a cue to gatecrash the show. I love this moment because it was just so unexpected. Nobody had planned that. Jun did it of his own accord and the fans responded amazingly. And whilst this doesn't sound too loud from the recordings, let me just tell you, if you're ever on stage and all of a sudden the audience just starts going nuts, completely unprompted, it really catches you off guard. Your brain just starts to think, whoa, what's going on? What the hell's happened? You really do wonder what you've just done or what's just happened behind you, and you do have to sort of look to see what they're reacting to. It was a really great moment that I'll personally never forget, and the roar from that crowd nearly knocked me off my feet. It was great.
And your time.
Number 4. Sonic is gonna wreck it. In 2013, Disney released the Wreck-It Ralph animated film, set inside the world of video games. In 2012, Disney began their marketing to hype that film. Several different gaming characters were revealed to be in the movie, including a number of Sega characters. For Sonic fans, they all knew Eggman was in the movie, but there'd been so many rumours that Sonic would also appear in a number of different scenes. And it wouldn't be long before fans saw Sonic in the movie for the first time. At the 2012 Sonic Boom convention, yes, the same one that had the Sonic Adventure 2 reveal, unknown to everyone, Wreck-It Ralph's director, Rich Moore, had been invited to the convention. It was one of the best kept secrets at the time, and when he was introduced to the stage, nobody could quite believe it.
I'm a video gameaholic.
Fans gave him a very warm welcome, and then he said he had something to show.
So ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you a few clips from the movie right now. I want you to look for a certain blue hedgehog in there.
Fans in attendance saw an extended clip of the villain support group scene, a scene which had been shown before, so the reaction to this was just a little bit muted. But then the footage continued, and a second scene played in which we finally got confirmation of Sonic's involvement in the film. The fans in the convention went nuts. They were so loud that they actually drowned out the dialogue from the film. At the time, it was probably the loudest Sonic fan reaction in history. Number 3. Mr. Naka takes the stage. In 1998, Sega hired the Tokyo International Forum for a very special event. They planned to reveal Sonic Adventure to hundreds of Japanese Sonic fans for the first time. Now, this event wasn't advertised as a party, not even a convention. It was more of a formal presentation. Fans were seated in a convention theatre. They were not standing up. It was a very reserved affair. When the presentation started, everything was very formal. There were no cheers, there was no screaming, there was just developers talking. And then Yuji Naka took to the stage the only way he knew how.
Producer of the Sonic team, Mr. Naka, ladies and gentlemen.
I love Yuji Naka's entrance to this. He looks like a superhero or something out of Star Trek. Unfortunately, the microphones were filtered, so we couldn't actually hear the audience. But according to reports for those who were actually there, Mr. Naka's entrance received a thunderous applause from the watching crowd. Immediately after this though, Naka took his seat and the presentation became very reserved and very formal for about the next 20 minutes. Everything returned to calm, reserved presentation. And then they introduced this guy. Yes, Segata Sanshiro actually came onto the stage, and he was not in the mood to keep things formal and reserved. He began chanting Sonic's name and got the entire auditorium to start chanting the name of Sonic over and over.
1, 2, 3, Sonic! Sonic! Sonic!
Now granted, this isn't the wildest of reactions, but when you consider the whole audience had been conditioned for about 20 minutes to sit in silence and just offer respectful applause, when Sanshiro left, Crush 40 began playing and the crowd reportedly exploded. But again, their mics were filtered. But just look at the faces of the fans. They're loving this entire presentation. Even though they're not standing, they're not jumping up and down partying, you can tell they are loving every moment of it. Sometimes you don't have to speak the language to know what someone is feeling, and this is certainly one of those cases. Number 2. Sonic Mania has 3 playable characters. The Sonic 25th Anniversary Party is notorious, mainly for all the things that went wrong, but it has some of the best fan reactions, and there's one in particular which I love just because of how spontaneous it is. For fans who actually attended the 20th anniversary event, they all knew that Sega were going to announce a brand new Sonic game. Everybody knew it, and all the signs pointed to a classic-themed title. The anticipation was really high, and then the reveal went very wrong.
Wait for it. This is where we test your patience one last time. Now I know you see that title up there. Just pay no mind to that title right now.
The video refused to load, and guests saw the title of the game, but no footage. Fans were left waiting for almost 2 minutes for the trailer to start, before suddenly it sprang to life, and the crowd roared. Which, to be fair, was kind of expected. You show a new game to waiting fans, they're gonna go crazy. But when the footage of Mania finally started showing, there was one moment in particular where the crowd spontaneously erupted with cheers and screams. And that was at the reveal that the game would have 3 playable characters: Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. Listen to that, they went crazy. The thing with reveals like this is that fans of any game are always going to scream and go crazy at a brand new reveal. But when you heard the crowd en masse reacting to a specific moment, something which they can't predict, that's when things get special. And the moment Knuckles appeared and everybody lost it, it was such a great moment, especially considering the rocky start to the reveal. And the final fan reaction comes from the same event. Number 1. Mr. Iizuka tells everyone Sonic Mania is not Project 2017. So once again, we're at the 25th anniversary party, but there's a reason as to why fans reacted the way they did with this reveal. For several months prior, Sega had been teasing Project 2017, and with the reveal of Mania just a few hours earlier, many fans assumed that was Project 2017. Even those who attended the event assumed that there would be no further game announcements. For people who attended the event, they were given a schedule which had 2 surprise announcements on it. One of the announcements was Mania, and the other was a mystery announcement right at the end of the event. Fans assumed that the second announcement was for when Iizuka erupted Aaron Webber, who was wrapping up, because he wanted to record the fans for something that would be used in Sonic Mania. This, however, was a fake out. When Aaron began to wrap up again after Iizuka had captured his audio, Iizuka stopped him and said, "I have one last surprise for you," followed by, "Sonic Mania is not Project 2017.
I have one last surprise for you. Sonic Mania is not Project 2017.
The penny dropped. At this moment, the fans went crazy when they realised they would be getting not 1 but 2 new game announcements. As the cheers continues and fans saw 3D Sonic, they exploded. And just when you thought it couldn't get any louder, Classic Sonic popped up and the roof ripped off.
Yeah, ready? Yeah! It's Project 2017.
Oh my god. What is it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Oh my god!
As the release date appeared, fans went mad. Unfortunately, this game became Sonic Forces, but they weren't to know that at the time. It was such an amazing sight to see, and for those who were actually there, the feeling was incredible. After a show which had had so much go wrong with it, the fact that fans still had that energy and that amount of enthusiasm really was something special to see. So we've come to the end now of this little look at some of the biggest and the best Sonic fan reactions of all time, but considering how the majority of us are doing all we can to avoid large crowds of people in tightly packed spaces right now, I thought it would be fun to take a look back at some of these amazing moments from history. Maybe we'll take a look at some others some other time, if you guys would like me to do that, of course. And remember that tough times don't last forever, but tough people do. And whilst many of us are disappointed that we won't be able to experience moments like this for a while, when we are able to meet our friends and strangers at conventions and parties like this, that shared collective joy is going to be just that extra special. Whilst the wait might be a while, it'll be worth it. See you next time.
Let's roll that beautiful Sonic footage.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this episode of Badnik Mechanic. If you enjoyed it, please click the subscribe and bell notification button to join the Badnik army. And if you'd like to support the work I do further, please consider supporting me on Patreon or by giving me a one-off coffee tip like these amazing people did. Links to do so are in the video description. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram for more adventures and future video updates. But most of all, just thank you for taking the time out to watch this video and enjoy the work I do. It really does mean the world to me. Thank you.